Welcome to the Distractaholics Podcast. I'm your co-host, Tyler.
And I'm Morgan.
And we're going to have a swell time today talking about one of our favorite activities, running.
Yeah.
Where is the enthusiasm?
It just died all of a sudden. I don't know.
So May is National Runners Month. So Morgan and I are both runners. We needed a May challenge. We wanted to do an episode about running and how we got into it. So we're morphing all those together today. So you'll end up with a challenge as per Distractaholics tradition, a podcast, and you'll learn some stuff about us. So, I mean, that sounds fun to me.
Yeah. Woo. It kind of was like serendipity that this happened because I had suggested doing a running podcast, and then like a day later, Tyler texted me. He's like, May is running month or whatever, and it just kind of worked out perfectly.
Indeed, it did. Okay, before we get into it, Morgan, where can everybody find us?
You can find us on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, YouTube, at Distractaholics on Instagram and Twitter. And you can email us at
distractaholics@gmail.com.
Yeah. So lots of ways to get in touch with us and to get involved with us. So make sure you do that and help us to keep this going, keep it fun. We've been having a great time.
Let's talk about the challenge.
Okay, this is Tyler's challenge to me kind of this week or this month. Is it kind of?
Kind of. So the challenge is to Morgan and to myself, because I don't run very much, is to run a half marathon that's 13.1 miles by the end of the month in one block.
One go.
One go.
As Tyler just ran 13.1 miles yesterday.
I did?
Like he does basically every week. But yeah, this will be my first time running a half marathon. I've started training for it in, I don't know, February? March? No, it was earlier than that. January? I don't know. I've been running a little bit before, and then my sister and I decided to start doing an actual plan to train for a half marathon. So that's kind of what led into this challenge. Let's just go ahead and get started in this. So basically, I feel like for this podcast, it's going to be kind of interview style. That way you guys kind of get to know us, get to know a little bit about our running
obsession.
And I wouldn't go that far.
Me either.
You're obsessed with it. I'm just kind of like, what? I'm doing it.
What? Me?
No.
We'll get into it.
Yeah. Just in case people aren't aware, we are not professionals. So anything that we do, it may or may not be right. It may or may not be kosher. It works for us, and that's what matters. If you are interested in running, becoming a runner, becoming a athlete of some sort, consult your primary care provider, your healthcare provider, get their input, talk to trainers, dietitians, physical therapists, whatever. Get their insight. Don't listen to us except for, entertainment purposes only.
Okay. Morgan.
Right.
Morgan.
Yeah.
When did you start running? And how long have you been running?
All right. Starting of the beginning of my running. The earliest time I remember running and enjoying running would have been when I was 11 or 12, so like 6th grade. I absolutely loved running back then. We always had to do the mile run for gym, and I remember being so excited for gym class because I love to just prove how athletic I was, and I wanted to be the very best that no one ever was.
We had very different experiences as children.
But I remember running the mile was always my favorite thing to do. I'd always try and keep up with the fastest kids in the class. I always tried to make sure I was the fastest girl. I always was competitive from probably from that time period until I graduated high school. And then I just didn't care. So after high school, I went to college, lost some of that. There's no time for running in college. At least I didn't make it a priority. So I started running again in probably 2016 and have ran on and off since then, 2015, 2016.
Well, good. That's where our stories intersect.
Yeah, running 5Ks in between there. I think I at least ran a 5K every year since I graduated high school, but it'd be an on and off thing. I was never consistent with it until like 2016.
Okay.
But okay, long running biography from Morgan. What about you, Tyler? It's also happened since birth?
No. We couldn't have had completely polar opposite childhood experiences. Tyler was fat and not athletic at all the way up until 2015. And then Tyler started to drop weight, and then he got into running and has been running ever since. And that's my story.
Nonstop, all
Basically
the time.
nonstop.
Obsessively, slightly.
For several years, I would have said it was obsessive, yes.
Interesting. Okay, so you kind of talked a little bit as to why you started running. Is there more to elaborate on that?
No.
I'd say that was basically the same thing for me starting to run again. Is I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to get back in shape. I wanted to be more athletic again, because it was really strange after college to not be involved in anything sports-wise, and so I've kind of gotten back into that.
Okay, Morgan, you've touched on it already, which is what we get into when we interview, but what inspires you to go out and run, especially with this half marathon you're getting ready to do?
I think a lot of it is my health. As I'm approaching 30, I have tried to focus more on my health, and running is something that when I'm doing it, I definitely feel the healthiest. So that my health inspires me to run, and my sister actually inspires me to run because it's an activity that we've done together forever. I mean, we were in sports together, and then after high school, she continued running and everything into college, has continued to be athletic throughout her entire life, and so she's someone who's really inspired me to work hard and take care of myself as well. And
She makes me feel unathletic.
She makes running seem cool. I want to be cool like my little sister.
Truth.
I touched briefly on how my sister and I were actually doing a running plan for our half marathon training. So the different types of runs that we have been doing for this kind of running plan, there are recovery runs, interval runs, fartlek runs, haha, fartlek, long runs, your short runs, intervals. Usually we're running about 4 times a week. Usually start off the week with a recovery run, middle of the week do our interval run, and then a real short recovery run that's only like 15 minutes, and then our long run is usually at the end of the week. So I think I actually really thought I would hate the speed work in the middle of the week, but I actually kind of enjoy intervals because it kind of spices up the run. I enjoy doing intervals as long as I know I don't have to go far.
They're rough. I tried that. It was too rough on my muscles.
Yeah. But yeah, so those are the different types of runs that I have done. There are probably many more.
And what we can say is that you shaved 4 minutes off your time this week.
Yeah, I did.
So obviously the speed work works.
I actually didn't do any speed work last week because I had my vaccine and was resting. So
what you're saying is the vaccine made you faster. Take note, everybody. No scientific evidence here, but the vaccine actually might have made Morgan run faster. So everybody go out and get their shot. Don't throw it away. And then we can all go out and be in public again.
You had to throw out that Hamilton reference there if people didn't get it. But also, I think it might have had something to do with the fact that I got more than 4 hours of sleep the night before, and I had enough to eat and drink the day before. That may have had something to do with it. I don't know. I'm not a professional, like I said.
It's funny. I was faster on my 4 hours of sleep. I also had 4 hours of sleep that night. I was faster then than I was Saturday. But I think I had more energy drinks pumping through me at that time.
You know how unhealthy that is to run and do? That's so not safe. Your heart's going to explode. I've talked about Reddit a lot in our past episodes. I do also go to Reddit for my running stuff, my running support and that type of things. I follow the r/running subreddit, the XX running or XX runners or something like that. That's just female runners.
I don't know why. It's not at all surprising to me that you use Reddit for running stuff too.
Because I use Reddit for everything.
As one does.
As one does. Do you follow any like forum boards or anything to do with running ever?
Nope.
You get your Dick's Sporting Good magazines? You like subscribe to Runner's World or I
do
know.
like to look at Dick's. So I was going to get a dang it, you were supposed to laugh.
Oh, good try.
I get my Dick's Sporting Goods magazine only because I buy shoes from there a lot. And I was going to get a subscription to Running World, but I don't know what it's going to tell me that I don't already know or that I wouldn't Google real quick and get the answer to.
You talked about getting shoes at Dick's Sporting Goods. Let's talk running shoes. I mean, that's could be possibly the most important gear that you use as a runner.
I mean, it's the right tool for the right job, right?
Right.
I love shoes, Morgan. Shocker.
I also love shoes.
Started off with Under Armour shoes, cheap shoes. They were fine for what I was doing. And then I don't know who it was convinced me to buy a pair of Brooks. So I went to Dick's Sporting Goods. They had me do a couple stances and said, hey, try these pair of Brooks. And I am in love with them to the point where I don't know that I can even consider anything else. I might one day. I've tried others just to stand in them. They don't feel as good. So I wear the Adrenaline GTS, and I just learned today that GTS stands for Go-To Support System because they have the guide rails. So those are the shoes I wear. Morgan, you recently changed shoes.
I did. I have not found and stuck with a shoe since I began running.
Commitment issues.
I know. I started out with Nike. I think they were Nike Zooms. I had a couple pair of those. I actually really liked them. And then I felt like I needed more support. So I then went to Mizuno, had Wave Runners, I think. Had those for a little while. They're very heavy. So I wanted to move away from that. And I went to Asics. I think I've had 3 pairs of Asics. The GT 2000 series, I think. But then I recently, as I've been running the further distances and everything, I've definitely noticed some pain in my hips pretty badly, and my arches, just not overall running comfortably. And I kind of felt like my shoes were causing me to overcorrect. I did a whole bunch of research to see if there was something that I was doing wrong, something I could fix. Right now, I'm running in the Brooks Levitates, and they're very, very light shoe with a really wide toe box, and so far I really like them. I have yet to go on my first long run with them, so we'll see how that goes next week.
So people see the price of these running shoes and they get a little spooked.
Throw up a little.
But they definitely make a difference.
They really do, and I mean, a majority of running shoes, unless you're Tyler, will last you at least 300 miles. If you're Tyler, you just run until there's about a hole in the bottom of them.
There's not a hole in the bottom of them.
There's basically a hole in the bottom.
I was trying to count the number of pairs of Brooks that I've had since I first wore my Brooks. It was at an outdoor run. You were there. That was the first time I had ever worn those and run in them. I think I've had 4 pairs since then, not including the gray ones that I'm running in right now, and not including the red ones that I just bought.
But you put in a lot of miles, so
I do.
You do.
I forget sometimes.
The thing is, more miles, the more often you're gonna go through shoes. But yeah, definitely worth it.
Habit.
Definitely something important. It can be, yeah.
Anyone can be a runner, Morgan, but I want to say this. I think people have it in their mind that they have to start off running, but that's not how I started.
Me either.
If I may share.
I would, yes, please. Everyone wants to know.
So when I was heavy, obviously, and when I say heavy, I'm talking 280, 290, probably 300. There was no way I was going to be able to run. I couldn't make it up and down flights of stairs without, heavy breathing. So I decided I was going to hit my step goal every day, 10,000 steps. I was going to eat better. And after I started dropping some weight and I could walk those long distances, no problem, I went, why don't I just step it up a notch and try to run a mile? And then I stepped it up to 2 miles and then 3 miles and then 4 miles. And in fact, Morgan, fun fact, because my data is all stored on my watch and my phone. When I first bought the Apple Watch, I didn't know you had to record your workouts. I thought I did it automatically. So I didn't start recording my workouts until January 2nd, 2017. And at that point I was doing like 5.5 miles. And I got all the way up to the point where for a long time I was doing 10 miles a day. And now I'll go out and maybe do a half marathon every week. But that's not like, you don't just jump straight into it. You take your steps and then you get there.
And there are so many great programs for that. I've done the Couch to 5K multiple times. I've done Couch to 10K multiple times. And then even when you're doing that, like sometimes it's just hard to go from walking to running. And even if it's really short intervals that you're running, sometimes that's still really hard. And that's okay. And it's okay to run slow, because I definitely do not run fast, but I do it. So
I don't think you run that slow, but okay. So you're not giving yourself any credit, Morgan.
No, I run slower than I used to run, so that's a lot. That's been a very hard adjustment. Like the times that I've gone, I think in 2016 when I was training for my first 10K, I was running like 10-minute miles, and now I do not run 10-minute miles. I can run a 10-minute mile if I'm only doing a mile, but the average pace and stuff doesn't have anything to do with anything. So just take your time and be active. If you jog a little bit, I think you can consider yourself a runner, but you definitely have to work up to it, like you said.
Absolutely.
Just going out and running without any training at all is going to hurt you a lot more. Yeah. I think
it's also super important to surround yourself with the people that believe in you, and it's important that you believe in yourself. You can do this.
Yeah. It is hard, and there are going to be days when you don't want to run. I have a lot of days that I don't want to run, but I have a lot of people cheering me on and pushing me to be better, and that really helps in the long run. And if you don't have anyone to do that personally, there are lots of running groups online that love to support. Like, I feel like the running community is such a supportive community, and they really want others to join in the hobby. So everyone kind of pushes each other to be better, and just the things you see on the subreddit, it helps to restore your faith in humanity a little bit. So try running, try it. Start with walking, build yourself up, join our challenge.
Things I do before a run. Please stretch. If you don't stretch, I don't know how you do it. You know who I'm talking about.
Cough, cough.
I have to stretch. If I don't, I am extra stiff, and I will not be able to move the next day. That's because I'm ancient. I also was dragging around a lot more weight for a long time.
2 years younger than me, though. I stretch. I roll my muscles. It's not a foam roller. I don't even know what you call it, but I roll my muscles. Depending on what type of run I'm doing, sometimes I like to run fasted. I feel like I run better if I don't have something to eat before I run, but if I am doing a long run, yeah, you have one too.
Yeah.
If I am doing a long run, I do make sure that I eat and drink a lot before. When we meet for our long runs, I have to drive about an hour, so I'm drinking the whole time, my entire drive there. And then I try and eat like an hour or two beforehand. And I ate granola bars this last time, as you inspired me to do, Tyler. So maybe that helped with my run. I was properly fueled.
So typically, I also have to eat. Otherwise, I'll be burned out and then I'll struggle the whole run. I love granola bars. Before our last run, I went out and stocked up. So I should be good for a while. I got like 50, 60 granola bars over there. I also read, it's going to sound stupid, that people will eat tortillas before they run because they're easy to digest and they're carbs. So I have a bag of tortillas over here, and I did eat one before my last run along with a granola bar because I was going to be running for a while. I try to stay hydrated. Sometimes in the morning, I need a little caffeine or an energy drink because I'm really tired in the mornings. My favorite drink, may I skip ahead?
Sure.
My favorite recovery drink is the Monster
water.
Is the Monster Rehab. It's
water.
Good for you after a run. It's a rehab. They also now call it recovery. And then some water. If you got a big water bottle like this, very handy. What was the correct answer again?
Water.
Monster, right?
Water. Energy drinks are bad, kids. But I
will attest.
I say that, but I will occasionally indulge in one. We've talked about what to do before a run. What do you do after a run?
After a run, I get in my car and drive home.
And then what? No, that's not true. You stretch a little bit. You lie down in the grass.
It depends on how long of a run it was. So if it's like a 3 or 4 mile run, that won't bother me. I can get right in my car and drive home. Anything over 8, I do have to stretch a little bit when I'm done. Otherwise I get stiff. Those 13.1 mile runs, the half marathon runs, if I do not stretch afterwards, as I learned the very first time I did one, I will be sore for 2 days because I'm not used to running that far. I'm used to stopping at 8, 9, or 10. So I stretch a little bit. I do enjoy laying out in the sun if it's not too hot and there aren't bugs.
You literally laid in the grass the last time.
I know, but I have plausible deniability. I didn't see any bugs.
All I could think of were he's going to have a million ticks on him. But I didn't say anything because I didn't want to freak you out.
I've already got a lot of bloodsuckers in my life.
I thought those were soul suckers, not bloodsuckers, but...
Oh, damn, you're good.
I know.
We should write together.
After a run, I stretch, do kind of a yoga cool down type thing that I've morphed into my own. I order food if I'm a long ways away from my house so I can pick it up and not have to make anything on my way home. Otherwise, short runs, I just come in, shower. I always have a beer after I run. I have a shower beer after I run. That's just something I've always done. And my husband supports that. He'll have my shower ready for me and have a beer ready for me when I get home.
How cute.
And and then I usually eat, and that's about it. I don't. Oh, except this, I almost forgot. After this was my second 10-mile run. I came home and I did an ice bath.
And did it do anything? Did it work?
I thought it went well. Like so I was really scared because I mean you're getting into a bath of ice, and but I didn't. My muscles usually start to cramp up really bad after I stop running, and as Tyler can attest to, I can barely walk right after I stop running. And so I'm like, well, I'm going to try this ice bath thing out, see if it'll kind of not really loosen my muscles up, but kind of chill them out. No pun intended. So I climbed in the ice bath. At first, I just had my feet in and I was like trying to ease myself into it. Terrible, terrible idea. Like my toes cannot stand to be cold. So I had to get my toes out of the water. So as soon as I sat down and got my toes out of the water, it was perfectly fine. Like I sat in there for about 15 minutes and was fine as long as my toes were out of the water. But my little toes and my fingers cannot get cold, or I will have immense pain. So yeah, I felt like my legs felt really good afterwards. My legs have felt really good today. Besides after sitting on the lawnmower for 2.5 hours, I was a little tight after that, but I don't know. I think it helped a little bit. I'm going to keep it up. What are your go-to running outfits? Your essentials for running?
Black on black.
On black on black.
So I run a little bit. So I've got a myriad of different running clothes for different weather, circumstances. I've got sweatshirts. I've got rain jackets. I've got the Under Armour type cold gear. I've got running tights, which you guys got to see, which I love. Compression
You're going
shorts.
on and on about all the things that you have. And I'm just like, I have like a couple pairs of leggings for when it's cold. Running shorts. I love running shorts. There's a brand that I want to try that actually has high-waisted running shorts. I have a pair of Asics. Like they're just basically volleyball spandex, but they're not high-waisted. So they kind of like fold down while I'm running.
But you wear a fanny pack and like a running belt too, right? Doesn't that kind of force those down?
It maybe okay. That's it, but
it does with my running tights, my outdoor, especially the ones like I wore last week that are meant for cold weather.
Yeah, I like high-waisted shit anyways. So I really want to try those shorts. And I don't like to run in bike shorts either. Like I want short spandex shorts or bust.
I've got like certain lengths of shorts that like I don't want them to be too short that like people make fun of me when I'm running. Not that I care, but they show off too much of my white legs. But they can't be below my knees because I'll trip on them. Yeah,
you don't have that full range of motion or whatever. Yeah. And then I basically the shirts that I run in. I've got some long sleeve shirts, basic shirts that you get from races, a couple tank tops. If I do need a coat to wear, I have like my old hunting jacket that's waterproof that I'll wear. I have Under Armour that I've had since like sophomore year in high school or something. Oh, and of course, like you said, I always have my fanny pack.
Yep. And I've recently switched to a backpack, which I think I'll keep up.
I want fanny packs to just make a general comeback. I'd wear a fanny pack all the time. I will wear a fanny pack all the time. What do I care if it's in fashion or not?
We set the fashion here on the Distractaholics podcast.
We do. Obviously, besides our podcast, what are some other things that you would enjoy listening to during your run?
Because I run a little bit, and because I've been running for a long time, a little bit for a long time, I've gotten kind of certain things that I like versus if I'm indoor or if I'm outdoor. If I'm indoor and I'm on the treadmill, I've got a TV, always had a TV in front of the treadmill.
Yeah.
So it's YouTube videos on subjects I'm interested in, movies, TV. If I'm outdoor, typically it's podcasts. Sometimes it's music. I'll listen to a musical all the way through. And so like, that's how I know how long they are and sometimes why I've heard them so many times. I do a lot of technology and TV and movie podcasts, entertainment, very few true crime or murder stuff. Very, very few. And then sometimes I'll download YouTube videos and watch them on subjects I'm interested in while I'm running. I basically not really watch them. I listen to them.
Listen to them while they're playing.
So that way I can catch up on some of the subjects or YouTubers that I'm following because that's a thing now, apparently. What about you, Morgan?
I usually just listen to music. Occasionally I'll listen to a book, but I haven't listened to a book in a while. Maybe that's what I'll start doing is the book I started listening to is I'll listen to it while I'm running now, since I don't really drive anywhere ever. But a lot of the run music, it's such a random ass playlist that I have. I actually recently added a bunch of songs that I used to listen to before track meets. So that's been kind of a fun blast from the past.
So some Stronger by Kanye West.
I did listen, that song was on there, but a lot of Sugar Cult, Motion City soundtrack.
Wow, taking me back.
Like 3 Days Grace.
Yes.
Let's Avenged Sevenfold. Yeah. And then some oldies too.
For the FBI agents that have been to my home, that was not any kind of a insurrection type comment. That is the lyrics to a song. Just wanted to provide that clarification.
Thanks, Todd. But yeah, I listen to a wide variety of music. Some rock, some MGK, DMX.
That's it? No podcasts?
I haven't listened to podcasts while I'm running for a long time.
But other than ours?
Oh, obviously. I mean...
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. I do listen to our own podcasts.
Well, of course.
That's about all I have on running. It's something that we were both passionate about. It's something we both enjoy. We would love to inspire other people to join in with it. Start small. make some goals. Even if your goal is to run 2 minutes, 1 minute, do it. Do it. Find a way to make it happen. But we'll keep you updated on our running challenge. And if any of you have decided to start running, let us know. Check us out on YouTube. Give us a like. Leave us a comment. Like us. Follow us on Instagram. Give us a tweet on the Tweeter. Email us. Just let us know.
Communicate with us, please.
Yeah, we love hearing from everybody. If you have, like I said in the past, if you have any recommendations on these challenges, I mean, there are 12 months in a year. We're going to need more. We're not that creative. I mean, maybe you are, but I'm not.
I think you'd be surprised what we can come up with.
Well, that's been the show, everyone. We hope you enjoyed our little deep dive on Morgan and Tyler's running habits. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
Bye.
Catch.
Wait, we had something?
Well, we didn't talk about what's distracting us this week.
Oh,
but
shoot.
We wanted to talk about our next week. We are going to be introducing the musicals. Our first musical reveal, and that will be with Mamma Mia.
That's correct. We said we were doing it on the last episode, but then we hijacked that episode for this one, so Mamma Mia got pushed back a week.
But it's still happening.
It's still happening. It's already been recorded, actually. And you know what, Morgan? I've decided I want to do something.
What?
I want the next movie we review after Mamma Mia to come from one of our listeners. I don't care which one.
Ooh, I like that idea.
So send us a tweet, something on Instagram, an email, contact one of us directly if you know us, whatever.
I'm so excited. That's going to be fun. Okay. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Keep yourself distracted. Peace out.
Okay, now bye.
Love you. Bye.